new school science. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we waste too much time trying to recreate the past instead of just understanding that this is who we are and it's already in our DNA. So we can just, you know, do some new shit or do some modern shit or take advantage of some modern shit. You know, we don't always have to go back to Timbuktu. You know what I'm saying? And we don't always have to go back to Timbuktu. Like we, like double entendre. Like, you know what I'm saying? We don't always have to try to go back to that as a reference. And we don't always have to try to recreate that. You know what I'm saying? There's many other cultures and many other things to borrow from. But instead of trying to go back to an ancient culture, you know, why not take advantage of modern day symbols? You know what I'm saying? If you understand how these deities and stuff came to be, it is very similar to like how Pikachu came to be. And it is very similar to like how Pikachu came to be, how Goku came to be, how all your favorite comic book characters and stuff came to be. That's why a lot of the comic book characters and stuff like that are based on these same deities. You know, whatever mythology you want to study, there's a show out there borrowing from it. Like Egyptian mythology, Yu-Gi-Oh. The comic book Thor, Norse mythology. You know what I'm saying? Whatever mythology out there, there's some comic book characters that borrowed from it. So why not start taking advantage of the comic book characters of your favorite video games, of your favorite TV shows and stuff? And what do you mean by that? I'm saying, like, I talked about this before, you know, modern day, or when I said my custom protection, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's cool. Hold on. This is a symbol for Ganesha, right? The elephant. It's cool to have this, and you should have this, and we can use this and say that this is some prosperity stuff, right? And it brings in the energy of prosperity. It's cool to have that. I'm not saying that you shouldn't, but what you got to understand is something that will be more powerful is like something that you associate with prosperity right now. You know what I'm saying? Something that you grew up associating with prosperity, that millions of people associate with prosperity right now. Whatever character, whatever symbol that is, you know what I'm saying? And then you can keep that around you and it'll be more powerful. So using protection as an example, like this is Groot. If you've seen the movie Guardians of the Galaxy, you know that Groot was a protector. You know what I'm saying? So of course I'm going to want to have this around because that's what he does. He protects. So yeah, I got Groot. This is a modern day version of having something like this. There is a whole mythology about Groot. You just have to go get the Groot comic. You know what I'm saying? You can familiarize yourself with the mythology the same way you familiarize yourself with this mythology. They got movies about Groot. They got movies with Groot in it, and you just get familiar with them. And you could use this the same way you would use this, but now you're just modernizing it. You know what I'm saying? You might make a whole altar with Power Rangers. You might make a whole altar of Power Rangers, a whole altar of wrestlers, even if they're still alive. Because all you want is that character. And usually the action figure is going to capture them in they prime. So you might just want a whole army of like Stone Cold and Undertaker and The Rock and find a doll where they look, or find the action figure where they look fierce, where they're making one of those faces, you know what I'm saying? They look menacing. And you might make an altar out of that, you know what I'm saying? Instead of using these ancient runes and different symbols and stuff like that, you might use the Pokemon symbol. You might use Pikachu's lightning bolt. You might use, this sounds silly, but this is some dead ass, some science, you know. Instead of carrying around a tarot card and using the magic of that, you know, you might carry around a Yu-Gi-Oh card. Sounds what I'm saying sounds crazy, but you got to understand that these things was crafted under very similar mindsets. You know what I'm saying? Not with the same intentions, but with similar mindsets. And either way, because Yu-Gi-Oh is still fresh in your mind, you have a stronger connection to it. You didn't grow up, unless you grew up in a witchy ass house, you didn't grow up most likely knowing about tarot and shit. You had to learn about that. You didn't grow up learning about, well, crystals and stuff. That's the one thing I would say kind of keep constant. Like, there's not really a substitute for that. But unless your imagination is strong enough that you can make up one in your mind. But that's one thing I keep as a constant. But crystals, you didn't really grow up on that, most likely. You had to take the time to learn about that. Even if you was naturally interested in it, you used to go outside and try to find them and collect them. You didn't grow up on that. You know what I'm saying? So you should go and find symbols of things that you resonate with and use them in your science. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying science, but people call it magic or whatever. And maybe I gotta make more videos breaking down like what you would do with this. So when I'm saying like for protections, like you can keep these stuff all around. Just watch my video on that. But it doesn't just have to be for protection. This is a coaster that I have. I bought this in the store. It's a Winnie the Pooh set. You know what I'm saying? And each coaster has a different image of Winnie the Pooh. And in every image, it's like him and another character, and they're looking real playful, loving, and happy. One, I have an extra connection to this because my nickname is Pooh, and my nickname is reference to the show. So when I was a kid, the reason why they call me that is because like every time they used to, I guess for whatever reason, I used to always have a lot of Winnie the Pooh stuff. So that's just what they ended up calling me. You know what I'm saying? And so I used to like that show as a kid. So I have a strong connection to this. But the science of this, the science of this is that every time that I look at this, it's connecting me to my child self without me even noticing, without me even doing nothing, because I just got to put my drink down on the coaster. But it's going into my mind subconsciously, this image of love, you know what I'm saying, of going back to the child place, of being in a connection, you know what I'm saying, of being at peace, of being one in nature. That's what the symbol is for me. And then it brings me back to a place of joy, you know what I'm saying, it brings me back to being a kid again and joyous moments, because there was a period in my life where that's kind of all people would call me was Pooh when I was like really smaller, and those are some of the better times. So just this right here, having this around, does a lot for me. And this is just a fucking coaster, and most times I forget that this image is even on there. But the fact that I have to look at it to put my drink down, it's going to my mind subconsciously, and all of that energy that I was talking about right there, I'm getting fed just every time I put my drink down. Every time I have a drink and I put it down, I'm getting fed. You know what I'm saying? And that's some simple science, but that's some powerful shit. You don't gotta be cutting a chicken's head off and shit like that. You could be doing something just like that, and that's some powerful shit. Even this cup right here. This is a Harry Potter cup. And when you pour your tea into it, it changes colors. It's supposed to be magical. And even this right here is a big symbol for me. I'm not the biggest Harry Potter fan. I haven't seen all of the movies in entirety, but I am a fan of the movies, and I am a fan of movies and stuff in general, usually relating to like magic and magical creatures and fairy tales and stuff. So having this around is like, again, it's a powerful symbol, and it's like something I don't notice. I'm just drinking my tea, putting it back on my coaster. You know what I'm saying? I show this all the time. It's like another symbol. If you wanted to take it a step further, you could start taking like the Dragon Ball Z symbol. Like you could take that Z and make it like a warrior sigil, you know what I'm saying? Like for protection, you know what I'm saying? It's like that same energy in your imagination of those characters, and the the how powerful they are and how they always are like protectors. You have that in your mind as you're using the sigil, and it'll have the same effect as if you was using some Egyptian shit, if you was using some Mayan shit. But the effect will actually be stronger because the sigil is still on and popping right now. People are using it all the time. They're playing video games and stuff like that. It's still fresh in the collective, in the collective mind right now. You know what I'm saying? If you show somebody that symbol, they'll be familiar with it, and they won't be scared of it. It's something they won't be intimidated by. So it's not even something that you have to hide or keep low. That's the beauty of it. And it's something that you're not uncomfortable with. And you can use this for whatever you want, and you can mix it up. You can use the science of like studying symbology and understanding that a cat symbolizes something anciently. You can look in ancient cultures and see what this animal totem symbolized, right? And then you can remix it with like Hello Kitty or something, because Hello Kitty symbolizes something for you personally, and you can mix the two energies of that, with whatever you may want to do for whatever works for you. It's all about what works for you. That's why I was like, man, you might be a little older, you might need to set up a Thundercats altar or something like that. You might be a little younger and you just getting into like watching Black Panther, or I don't really know what the young kids got for heroes. Maybe you was watching Teen Titans or whatever it might be. You know what I'm saying? And you can build stuff out of that. If there was a certain character in the show and they were like a character who always had money, like Mr. Krabs, like he was about that money. He might not be the greatest example, but I just want to use him as an example. Or maybe I'll say Sandy. You know what I'm saying? You might be trying to, back to Mr. Krabs. Yeah, you might be trying to manifest some money or something. So you find a character like Mr. Krabs and you use that symbol. Instead of you using an Orisha, instead of you getting on your knees and begging for prayer or something, instead of you burning ancestor money or something like that, you can still try those other things, and I wouldn't try the prayer, but you can still try those other things and see how they work with conjunction to this. But I'm saying this is some new shit. You know what I'm saying? This is some shit that I'm not saying I'm the only person doing or the person who invented it. I don't want to say that at all, but I'm saying like this is some shit that not a lot of people are probably thinking to do. You know what I'm saying? You see I got that Jay-Z thing in the back because as someone who sees themselves as a businessman, and that's what he raps about and stuff, that's what this like symbolizes to me, like, running a successful business, you know what I'm saying, and having like a come up story. That has nothing to do with who Jay-Z is. That has nothing to do even with his music and stuff. It's just a symbol I have created for myself in my mind. You know what I'm saying? This right here, this Rasta thing, this is like, this is a symbol for me. You know what I'm saying? I didn't mean to call him a Rasta thing. That's my fault. He reminds me of the Rastas growing up that would be kicking knowledge, you know what I'm saying, and smoking weed. So this was like the perfect combination for me, you know what I'm saying? And I love with the peace sign and stuff, because that's a lot of the stuff that they used to talk, like they would always be on some like, we come together with the oneness and we be one and one love and peace and all of that. So this is a powerful symbol for me. And most times it just be chilling. Sometimes I be smoking out of it, but a lot of times my man just be chilling. You know what I'm saying? Call him Ross. And you could, son, there's so much potential you could do with this. Do you understand what I'm saying? There's so much potential. You could be making sigils with shit from your favorite video games, from your favorite movies, from your favorite whatever. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to, I'm stumbling over my words, but I'm just saying, like, and I'll probably come with a part 2 of breaking down like how you can really use this in methodology, but just get your mind thinking. You know what I'm saying? This is why some of it really gonna have to be personal, because a lot of people might see that Jay-Z thing in the background, and a non-spiritual person might just be like, oh, he's a Jay-Z fan, which I am a fan of his music, so that, that is true, that aligns. And maybe like a spiritual person or something might think Jay-Z, it might be extreme, might think he drinks kids or he's an Illuminati or something, whatever, and they might be confused to why I have that up there. And either way, both people aren't really understanding the symbol, but I don't need them to, because it's for me personally. Most people may not understand why I have this. They may not understand what it does for me. That doesn't matter, because the science and the magic of it is for me. I can, every time, without me even knowing it, just put my cup down. I'm connecting with that energy. You know what I'm saying? And I want you to understand that it can really be as simple as that. You know, you don't have to get too complicated. And then you can really start mixing it up and shit. You know, so in the part 2, I'm going to come up with like methodology and things in actual practice. You know what I'm saying? I'll show you like this is what someone would do traditionally, and then this could be like the new school way. And I'll even share results and stuff. You know, I've told you, you know, I feel like my bodyguards, they be holding me down. You know what I'm saying? He look cute and cuddly, but this nigga snap your neck if you if you talk crazy. So I feel like my bodyguards and stuff be holding me down, you know. But there's other things I'm going to use as an examples, so you could start to come up with your own, and you can also steal those, because you know if they work for me, you can see if they work for you. If they don't work for you, you just gotta have to learn to try your own shit. You just gotta build up that trust in yourself that the shit that's coming from you, you know, is the shit that you should be doing, and it's gonna work for you. So you're gonna have to consult with yourself on what's best for you. So hope this video makes sense. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it helps. Hope it's your mind is going like, ooh, I'm about to do this and that. Ooh, I'm about to take, ooh, yeah, I want you to be thinking like that, you know? So, yeah, it's new school, new way, new science, you know what I'm saying?